Welcome into Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest. Casey Phillips here, joined by rookie running back Rachaad White, who I've been so excited to have on. Rachaad, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you guys for having me on.
You've been a talk of the offseason. I know that there's a lot of people excited to see you out on that field, that you got a lot of people excited with your, not only your run game, your pass game, everything about you, the energy you bring. So we got a lot to get into. First, we'll start with this last victory in New Orleans. And what does it feel like to start 2-0 in your NFL career and the vibes around the locker room right now?
For me, it feels great. It's a lot of good vibes, and you can never go wrong with that. A lot of great energy. You can feel it, you can see it, you can sense it. So it's been a blessing, honestly, and just, learning every day from a lot of the guys in the building. It's a lot of stars here, and, one day you're looking to be one of them stars in this locker room, so you're just learning from each and every one every day.
And what were the feelings and emotions for you when you stepped onto an NFL field that first week and even the second one? What goes through your mind in both of those games?
For me, what goes on, I just always come out early. I get a stretch or warm up with Dre. I do the same routine, so I found a routine and stuck with it since preseason. And stepping into the first couple games, you get to check the scenery. It's a different feel than preseason. It's the real deal. It actually goes towards your record and things like that. But me, I just stay focused. I like to have fun. I like to enjoy the moment walking out there. I can remember everything I did, just things like that. So, I'm making sure I stay in the moment.
How much did you understand about the, let's call it grudge match with the Saints, of the history here with these two teams trying to break the regular season losing streak? How much did you know going into this or kind of learn about it in the last week or so?
For me, the biggest thing that I learned, when I seen what had happened in the game, then I knew, oh yeah, this, is some real deal, it's something serious, Coming from Arizona State, our rivalry was like Arizona, so, but
not quite as vicious, maybe.
It never got to that point. It almost got there, but, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. But, everybody was talking about it all week. You could just sense it. People like, I hate, hate is a strong word. When I hear hate, it's like, yeah, okay, you see it. And now you kind of when you going into the game, it's kind of like, how much do you hate? And then when you see what happened and how everybody is and how everybody acts, it's like, oh, yeah, that's hate. You could tell.
And so then you could tell what it meant to get that win. What was that like in the locker room right after, and to understand what that win meant to this team?
For me, it was just good. I was just locked into Coach Bo's speech, listened to what he said, and basically just everything and how he said the game was going to go. And after, when he spoke in the locker room, he, reiterated how the game was going to go. And all the players and all the guys just rallying behind each other. Going out there fighting. You can see it on the film. Obviously, you be wanting to play better in certain aspects, certain spurts of the game. But, football is football, and it's tough. Like Coach said, it's tough to win in this league, and I could just see that already. So it was fun to see.
And how about the way Leonard Fournette's been able to come out and play these first couple games, especially that week one against the Cowboys? This guy was just putting up yards and throwing a heck of a chip block in there. And then he had to grind it out in this last game, a lot of carries, and had to work for those yards a little bit. What's it been like to watch Lenny these first couple games?
It's just awesome. It's a blessing that you get to watch and kind of sit behind a guy like Lenny. And you get to compete against him every day and things like that, and just see how he maneuver and how he runs the ball with a lot of attitude, a lot of force, and things like that. So it's been awesome to see him come out and start off great, and do his thing, and been blessed.
What are some of the things that he does that you've been able to learn now being as close to him that maybe you want to emulate or that you want to learn from? Some of the little things that we might not know watching from afar.
Honestly, just what I really admire about Lenny, just how freely he plays. A lot of guys, and we talk about in the sport and just all kinds of walks of life, like you're gonna mess up or you're gonna make a mistake, but and he do it at 100 miles per hour. So it's still a lot of effort. Regardless if he made that mistake, he gonna make that mistake with a lot of effort. So that's one of the things I admire about him. Not saying a mistake is the right thing to do, of course, but if you're doing it 100 miles per hour, you never know. It ain't like he making a mistake and how most guys do. You kind of give up and you like, oh dang, you're in your own head. He like, nah, I'm gonna make it and I'm gonna go into the next play. So that's one of the big things I've been kind of learning, especially when you're young. You as a rookie, you want to do everything right. And then when you don't do something right, sometimes it gets to, and you see it all the time, it gets to being, your head go down sometimes, or you like, dang, because as humans, we can be our biggest critic, especially you trying to do something and be great. So, I mean, that's one thing I like and admire about Lenny.
And we're talking running back Rachaad White. For the offense overall, what are the big things you feel like now after 2 weeks? I know you guys just got out of meetings looking back at this game. The biggest things that your coaches are still looking for from you guys, offense overall, and then running back specifically, that they want to see?
I think they just looking for us to still keep playing physical. We could be more physical than we have been. Honestly, making sure everybody just know what they're doing. Do the right thing, doing your job, and doing what is asked for you in the play, because obviously that's when, offense is hitting on all cylinders. We've been fortunate and great to win these 2 games, but for offense, the coaches and the players and how we talking and TB and things like that, we want to play to we feel like our level of how we can play, and that's what coach said. So we just want to keep building, keep watching film, keep coming together, and make sure everybody doing their job and doing the right assignment on each play.
How about in the red zone? I know that's definitely been a point of emphasis these last couple of weeks, looking at how often you guys were getting it down the field, but then stalling out inside the 30, inside the 20. What are some of the things that coaches have been pointing out that you guys feel like you want to work on specifically in the red zone?
Just same thing. Right now, we just got a lot of mental errors. So, like I said, a lot of guys having a little mistake here that that costs you big in the red zone and things like that, or just a penalty or something like that, or even if it's not a mistake and you doing the right thing. But like for instance, for me yesterday, I had a little route and I dropped the ball, like 6-7 yard route, just things like that, like plays that you got to make. That you got to make, and so it'll all get cleaned up. Especially like I said, you got guys, we all competitors on the offense. We all want to make the play when the ball comes to us. So just things like that we got to clean up, make the play when it comes to you.
And how about the play of the offensive line? That's a group of guys that I know you're a big fan of, because they are a big part of what you're able to do out there as a running back. And fellow rookie Luke out there getting the start, and a lot of guys having to step up and turn. Got a third string tackle in there, and it's a hard place to play for an offensive line when it's so loud. And they kept Tom very upright considering all the different factors. So what's it been like watching them and your guy Luke getting that start?
For me, it's just been great to see it. It was a hard place to play. We can say about that when it comes to how loud it gets and how the fans are. But also, it was a hard defensive front. It was a hard front seven, or whatever you want to call it. They one of the toughest, biggest, strongest, great size that we're gonna be able to see all season. So just to be able to see my offensive line fighting every play, things like that, just to see guys like Brandon go in there and we not lose a step or lose a beat, which was really great to see for his confidence, also for everybody else's confidence. And guys like Brandon we believe in. Luke has done a great job of coming in, and I had already seen it from the beginning. I came in on rookie minicamp and things like that, and you can just tell when a lineman got it, and he just gonna fight for you. And you see that in all of our linemen, and that's the biggest thing. They all have been on the same page, and they all have rallied together. Everybody out there, you pay attention, you see what people say and things like that, and you in the process of trying to prove people wrong, and they just doing what they doing their job.
And how about that Prashad Perriman touchdown? Tell me when you were able to get a good view of that, and tell us about that play and what that was like for the team to know what a big score that was at that point in the game.
So I was right there. I'll be standing next to Coach, waiting on my time to get in the game, but just in case Coach, you got to go. So,
I love this. You just got to stay nearby, just in case.
I just stay right behind him. He makes sure I stay right behind him.
I picture you just tapping him on the shoulder a bunch of times, like, hey, Coach, hey, Coach.
You really want to do that, but like I said, I got a guy like Lenny in front of me who's been playing out his mind, and he do his thing. So, you got to wait your time. I'm young, I'm a rookie. I'm trying to have patience, but just seeing BP just score that touchdown, things like that, just for BP, you was happy. You was happy for the team, but you're also happy for the individual, things like that. Like I said, a guy get his chance like that in the red zone and things like that, and he makes a play. That's pretty exciting, pretty happy, especially with all the injuries that we've been dealing with in the offense. So that was pretty, I was pretty excited for that.
Yeah, that fourth quarter, man, that was quite a turnaround after being 3-3 and just slogging it out this game. And what did it feel like out there was the turning point? it might be easy to say, was it the fight? Did that get everybody fired up? Was it the turnovers, a combination? What did it feel like in the moment seemed to shift that momentum in the fourth quarter?
Honestly, I mean, you could probably say the fight, but for me, it's like more kind of who comes out the fight, like more calm, you know, because, you know, a lot of emotions play. And one thing, like I have coaches that have been telling me for the past, like, you want to play football with a passion, but not as much as emotions. Don't let emotions really get involved when it comes to it. So, I mean, I think we came out of the fight. We was riled up, but we eventually ended up calming down and stay locked in and not worried about things that we couldn't control. Obviously, we lost Mike, but, I mean, everybody rallied behind each other, and that was just kind of great to see. I mean, the moment point, you know, you had TB leading, and he was very fired up and passionate, especially after that event had happened, and we just kind of wanted to win. I mean, the defense did a huge job. I mean, we know what our defense is capable of. I mean, we've been practicing against them for a whole training camp, you know, a whole month or whatever.
Probably happy to be going against someone else's defense at this point after them.
You'd be happy, but that's just what makes each other great, you know. D. White said every day and things like that, like iron sharpens iron, so. Turning point was just making sure we come out of there with a win. They preached and harped all week of how we knew like we haven't won a regular season game against them in I don't know how many years or whatever. So it's been a while and we just really wanted it.
And you mentioned now you'll be without Mike Evans next week because of the suspension. What does that mean to this offense? And then there's also other injuries still around some of the same positions that when there are some key guys missing, what does that feel like for the rest of you, and how do you try to go about that as an offense?
I mean, obviously, we just kind of know like what Mike means to this offense, what he means to this organization, what he has meant to this team for 9 years. So it's like, you know, that's a huge piece missing. But we got a great coaching staff. They believes in us. Offense, everybody else that's playing, we know what's at stake and what we got to do. And you know, it ain't no pressure at the end of the day. You know, we just got to go out there, you know our assignment and know what to do, and then just go out there and play and do your job and have fun, you know, enjoy it. So it's going to be a huge missing piece, but, you know, I think we got some great guys that's underneath that's going to get their chance and their opportunities and make the most of them.
All right, we got plenty more coming up here on Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest with running back Rachaad White, brought to you by Frontier and Hooters. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest with rookie running back Rachaad White. And right before the break, you brought up our defense. We were talking about what an incredible performance on Sunday from them. I think 6 sacks, 5 takeaways, just absurd stats, and includes a pick 6. And tell me about some of the big turnovers in the game. What you remember seeing from Jamel and Mike Edwards and some of those guys. What was it like to be there watching those from the sideline at that point?
It was awesome. It was great to see there and watch guys go out there and make plays and do what they do. Just seeing, because I like to see up at the jumbotron a lot to watch the defense and watch the game. Sometimes even when I'm not in, I'm standing next to coach. Sometimes I look out there, but then I like to look up at the jumbotron to see the play, because you see the play from the whole point of view and a different view as well. So. Just seeing Jamel go up there and make that play and make that catch, and then see him make another one, and then next thing you know, you see him Mike Edwards with the pick and had a full head of steam to be able to take it back to the crib. It was just amazing to see, and you could just see the energy and how happy the whole team was, and that's just a great feeling to have. When, like I said, everybody rallies behind each other and do their thing. It's just amazing to see. We was talking about it in the rookie academy of how, like, most teams you get offense and the defense kind of goes at it a little bit because the defense is doing so well, but the offense is not playing so well. So, some teams you get the defense is like, come on offense, this and that, and you kind of bump heads. But how it's like with this team, it's like, nah, we got y'all back. We're not going to say a word. We know y'all going to, come through when it's most needed. So that's awesome to see.
Yeah, that's an incredible perspective to hear. We're talking to running back Rachaad White. How about your early interactions with Brady? Because a big part of that feeling of each side of the ball having each other's back feels like there is such an accountability on both sides of knowing that there are veterans and talented people on both sides of the ball. And Brady kind of brought that attitude as well, of never feeling like you're out of a game, always feeling like you're going to win with Brady at the helm. What are those first things you remember about what it felt like to be on an offense led by Brady, and how some of the intangible things that he brings that you could feel stepping in here?
I mean, you could just tell that, he's a winner, not even by his accolades, just kind of by how he carries himself and how he leads, honestly. And that's what you could see from the beginning. Also, you could just kind of, tell, and you just see it as the game goes on, things like that. Like you said, the offense, we've been doing a great job of driving the ball. We have drove the ball the first drive, and then we have a little hiccup or so, which that things like that. That's what I'm saying, that we got to clean up. But you could just see, like, everything is in the details and things like that. And I mean, he's a great leader. To me, he build guys up, things like that, and also gets on you when he feel like he needs to get on you. When you're a winner, you very passionate, like I said, about what you're trying to do. You don't like losing, and don't nobody really like losing, but for him, it's like, he takes that extra. So it just everything about him, as you can tell, why he is who he is.
What are some of the things that he has said to you, helping you with your game, and what he hopes for from you, expects from you, and the way he even likes to use running backs, not only as running backs, but in the passing game as well?
For me, he just, before games, he just be telling me, kind of like, let's go 2-9, just go out there, be you, play free. You put in a lot of good work, and, you're a heck of a player. You're a heck of a young player, and, just go in there and be you. I know you're going to do good things. You're going to be good. So just things like that, you'd be like, okay, like, it's cool. Like, yeah, people, you might not think they recognize you, but they, recognize, the work you put in and things like that. So, I mean, you just see it, and you hate not making a play or things like that. But, you got to learn how to shake it off and keep moving.
I know that there's already such a transition going from college to the NFL, much less when you're going from college to all of a sudden Tom Brady's the one handing you the ball. That has to be kind of a surreal moment of like, man, this is what you dream of as a kid, and then it's actually happening for you. Were there any moments of trying to act not starstruck, or when you come in here of like, man, this is Tom Brady handing me the ball? Were there feelings like that for you early on?
No. For me, it was just, I mean, like, I don't ever be starstruck, because I had a moment when I was a kid. And my mom had broke it down to me, simple. I think I was at a track meet. I was at my track state meet, and Ezekiel Elliott, he's from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. So when we meet in state, like St. Louis, we go against each other. We be at the same track meet. So this is when Ezekiel Elliott was just got drafted number 4 overall or something like that, I think, and he had played the season or whatever, rookie of the year and stuff like that, and I had seen him. I was like, yeah, I need to go up and talk to him and things like that. And my mom, just go up and talk to him. And I was like, no, I don't know. He ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Every kid go through that. I don't know, or young man go through that. I don't know. You sure he gonna talk this and that? But my mom, go up and talk to him, just say what's up. That's all you can do. He was like, she was like, he human just like you is.
Yeah.
And so ever since that moment, it's I've never been starstruck. And ever since that moment too, I felt that way. I make sure I'm very open, outgoing. Any kid be able to walk up to me and don't be scared to speak to me. Just things like that I have went through is and that's just why I am who I am.
I like that. That's pretty good. And I would say that for you, I mean, you have walked in here and felt immediately like you had a confidence in who you are and the way you play. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, I'm very confident because this is kind of this is what I wanted my life to be like. And also, I just didn't even want to settle for it, just feeling like I made it after, even though I was blessed to get drafted, I just made it, and, I'm all big time and stuff like that, or, so I always just, I always keep a chip on my shoulder from the journey that I took and where I'm trying to go and what I'm trying to accomplish in my NFL career, so that's why I just make sure I'm confident. I'm always hungry, never feel like I'm never too high, never too low, never feel like always feel like I could have did more,
We're talking to Rachaad White, and let's talk about that journey that got you here. I feel like you're the definition of overcoming the odds. Does that feel accurate?
Yeah, I mean, you can say that.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about let's start with high school. First of all, you had what sounds like a terrifying injury when you were playing high school ball. Tell us a little bit about this.
So yeah, I mean, I had like a scrimmage in the summer going into my junior year. At that scrimmage, I was running the ball. I did something to trip. At that time though, I was like weighing like 180, 175 pounds, but I was playing running back still. And my coach had me all over the field, and I ended up getting a D lineman ended up like falling on me as I was falling. And he put his whole body weight into me, and I was going to land the wrong way. So like with his body weight and my body weight, I ended up dislocating my clavicle, like breaking my first rib, my growth plate, all on the same side. So, I mean, like, you know, at first I was toughing it out, but I just felt something, so I had to stop. But I thought, you know, it'd be just a stinger, but when I had got on the bus, it like hit me after all my adrenaline stopped. I'm like, oh no, I got to go to the hospital. So I called my mom. She sent my brother to the school to pick me up, and we went to the hospital, and that's when they let me know all of that going into my junior year. I mean, the doctor really even didn't want me to come back my junior year, but I think I came back in like 5 games or so, just because, like, for my team, I felt like I needed to do that.
That's crazy. And then I feel like you left out one crucial part, that is you could have died from this.
Yeah. So the way my collarbone was dislocated from my clavicle, it was dislocated from my sternum. So it was like pointing towards all my arteries. So like if I would have moved the wrong way, I would have like bled out inside.
That's crazy. How did that affect you as a football player, as a person? I mean, when you find out you're like an inch from essentially bleeding out on a football field, what was that like?
For me, it's just like, you know, I mean, you just be happy, you know, you just be blessed. Like, I'm a very happy, blessed individual, you know. I'm grateful for all the little things, you know, just because you go through stuff like that, and, you know, like nothing really guaranteed besides like life and death, you know, so.
It's incredible. And I mean, do you feel, I know when you came back, it actually changed a little bit about your career trajectory, because now when you came back, you were playing behind somebody, right?
Yeah, it was a tough moment for me, because one of my like childhood buddies, he was kind of doing this thing. It was his first year playing high school football, but he was always a football player. It just took him a minute to play high school football, and we all knew about him growing up, and I played against him growing up, and he was at running back. And, you know, he was doing this thing. But when I came back, you know, I wanted the running back job back in, because we ran like a gun wing T, so we got like 3 running backs, but they called different things. And that's what helped me mold me into the player I am today. But I wanted the actual like backfield running back spot back. But it didn't go as planned. So, you know, at first I was like, you know, like mad about it, but I switched positions. Like, you know, he was doing this thing, and I still was playing, like, we ran a gun wing team, so we had like a slot back and a wing back, and we all lined up still in the backfield and things like that. And, I mean, I just was open to moving to that role after a little bit of time, and it helped me flourish and helped me mold me into, like, the pass catching back and running back that I am today.
That's pretty incredible. And yet, even though after this, you end up with, I think, 2,000 all-purpose yards your senior year. No big deal. Just a teensy amount of yards.
Could have been better.
But still no D1 offers for you. And I think people were maybe even trying to get you to play defense. Is that right?
Yeah, because where I'm from in high school, we be playing both ways. So, like, I played, like, slot back, and on defense, I play safety and corner. So a lot of people, like, thought because I was good size, like, you know, that I'd be a great corner, things like that. So, like, most people wanted me to play corner. But I was just set on running back. Like, I wanted to run, I wanted the ball in my hands, you know, things like that.
And so what was that like when you get no D1 offers? What was your next plan of what you were gonna try to do at this point? Of some people might have just been like, never mind, I'm not gonna do this. Tell me about what happened from there and the decision you made.
So for me, it was rough, you know. I spent some time crying, breaking down, and my mom was tough. Like, my mom was one of them tough moms. I mean, she was a single parent, so she was tough. Like, she was heartfelt when it needed to be heartfelt, but she was tough. And she was just opening my eyes up to things that I could have did better, even though I had 2,000 all-purpose yards. But like as in like not like trying to spend so much time with my friends, but I could have been training more, just things like that. And like when you a kid, you just like trying to enjoy them days with your buddies, because you know like they can kind of run out. Like, you know, y'all gonna have a different lifestyle. And so she would just let me know, and I had realized that. So when I had no Division I offers, I had like Division IIs. My high school coach was big on like, you know, just go get a degree. You get an opportunity to have your school pay for it. And like I said, I was blessed, like how I grew up, where I come from, even get that opportunity to have my school paid for. So I'm like, all right, things like that. And so I ended up signing to University of Nebraska-Kearney. Even though I had other Division II offers, but they was like the only school that wanted me to play like running back for them. So I was kind of all for it, and I like where they was turning the program into and things like that. And I just remember I went grinding, like my trainer, like I grinded all summer, because you didn't have to report to Division II. You don't have to report to like fall camp. So I just grinded all summer, and then I go up there to Division II with an opportunity to play. As a young freshman, things like that. One of the only freshmen traveling with the team, things like that. And I just remember meeting some guys up there at the Division II that came from junior college all the way out in California. And one of them, literally, we were sitting on the bench after practice, just out there right after practice. And one of them did ask me, like, you know, what's your plan, this and like that. And I'm like, because they really, like, they always, like, before, like, I mean, I like Le'Veon Bell growing up, but before, like, Le'Veon Bell comparisons kind of came out for me, like, it was, like, with them, like, they was the first one, like, Lil Lev Bell and things like that, like, when I got there. So I'm like, I'm just going to, you know, play for however 5 years here and get a pro day chance. Like, I'm still making it to the league. And they would just like let me know though, like, you know, it'd be easier if you just go junior college. And I'm like, I don't know nothing about junior college though. Like, nobody educated me on that. So then they just started educating me on that and reaching out. They was from different junior colleges out in California. So I started doing my research, and they was reaching out to their coaches, and I just got on the phone, and I just kind of wanted to turn into like an actual man. Like, when I was younger, I always told my mom I wanted to go far. Like, I wanted to go far away from home and just live. Like, you know, be able to live and see things for myself. So I was 18 years old. I went back home, and I was telling my mom, like, I'm going to junior college. And my mom, you know, she respected it. She didn't want me to go, you know, but I was a young, grown man. Like, I could make my own decisions, like, at 18 years old. And, you know, it just kind of paid off. You know, I ended up going to Mount San Antonio College, 2018 spring. And, you know, the rest is kind of history. Played 2 years. They put me in great position. My second year, I was balling out, going crazy. And then I was fortunate with a good amount of Division I offers, so I finally felt what that felt like, you know, to take a visit or to go here.
Just took a couple detours to get it.
Yeah. And for schools that want me, like, whoa, like, yo, it's UCLA. Calling my phone, like, wow, the running back coach, Chip Kelly, you know, they offered me a full ride. Like, you know, it was like, wow, like, that's what it felt like. But I was never too high, never too low, though. Never felt like I was too good or better than anybody and things like that. So I decided to go with Coach Herman and Coach Herm Edwards at Arizona State. And, you know, then I was blessed, fortunate. They put me in position, and now I'm here.
And now you're here. That's incredible. What a story. All right, we have more coming up here on Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest with rookie running back Rachaad White, brought to you by Frontier and Hooters. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest. I am Casey Phillips, joined by rookie running back Rachaad White. And right before the break, we heard the bird's eye view of your career to this point and where all you went. But I did want to talk a little bit more about your time at Mount Sac, because I know that it was not as you glossed over a lot of what all you had to go through to get here. And I think that I love helping fans understand what people have had to go through to get to this position. That I think it's easy for people to look at NFL players and just say, man, life is so easy for them and they've just been given everything. And I know that that was not necessarily the story before getting here. That you, like you said, you're living your dream now, but it took a lot and a lot of sacrifice to get here. So tell us a little bit about when you were at Mount Sac, what that experience was like in terms of off the field, of what it's like to be a JUCO guy having to put yourself through that school.
I mean, just having to put yourself, for me as a junior college guy, I kind of knew what was coming into it, though. Like I said, I did my research. I talked to some coaches, and they was real with me. That's one of the reasons why I chose Mount Sac, because the coaches was real and up front. You know, like, we can help you out, find a place to live, but, you know, we don't do scholarships here. You know, we don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't pay for a living, but we can do things like that to help you out. So that's what happened. Really, I had got there. They had, like, an apartment. It was like, I mean, but you living with, like, they live in 2-3 bedrooms with, like, 10 people, like 8 people or so. So, you know, you got 2 sleeping in the living room, 2 sleeping in each room, you know, things like that. Like, it's tough, you know, it's real hard, you know. You got to get food stamps, things like that in order to put food in your crib, go apply for that, you know. But you just figuring how to live. Like, just looking at it now still, like, I'll be smiling if it was still the same day, like, you know, because you just figuring out how to live, which I had like on my own. But it's like little things you had to do. So, like, my mom and my family, I only wanted to ask them for, like, a certain amount. You know, I didn't want to have them paying my bills or things like that. Plus, it was already tough. They had their own things to do. So, I mean, I just kind of, like, try to figure things out myself. They send me money here and there, but I was having, like, little jobs on the side. I was fortunate to meet this gentleman walking in the 7-Eleven parking lot. He had went to, like, he from Tampa, Florida, and he lived in California now. And he was fortunate to, like, go to junior college out in Kansas and things like that. And I had always got that question, like, why didn't you just go to junior college out in Kansas, things like that? And I just said, I don't know. I didn't even try. I didn't even attempt. When the guys told me about California JUCOs and how you gotta figure out how to live on your own, fend for yourself, I just gravitated towards that. So I ended up fortunately meet him walking in a tank top and some basketball shorts, and he just like, yo, young man, you play football, things like that. And I'm like, yes, I do. And I just remember talking to him for about like 20 minutes outside in the parking lot. Like, yeah, he just introduced himself, just talking. We just talking about ball and things like that. And he's like, yo, just take my number down, this and that. And I'm like, you know, like, all right. Like, you know, my mom, I don't trust strangers, you know. So I'm
Stranger
like,
danger.
Yeah, like, okay, like, hold on now. And then he like, you know, take this $20 too. I'm like, oh, red flag. You know what I'm saying?
Red flag, but also I need $20.
Red flag, but I can't use that.
Yeah.
So I'm like hesitating. He like, nah, take it. You don't owe me nothing in return, this and that. So next thing you know, when I took his number down, I texted him like, yeah, this is me, the young man you just met in the parking lot, the junior college ball player, and text me back like paragraphs, you know, like, you know, and just sending me pictures of himself. He used to play and ended up going to Colorado, and he played at the time. Colorado was, you know, like real legit and stuff like that, and, you know, just getting me like to know him better so that I can trust him better. Then he like, yeah, I'm going to bring by some groceries for y'all and the guys that's in the crib with you, and I'm going to take care of you, look out for you, things like that. And I'm like, oh, no, it's something up with this. So
Nobody's just this nice randomly.
Yeah, like, so I didn't even respond to him for about 2 days or so. Like, yeah, he like, and he sent me a message just deeply telling me, you know, like who he is, things like that. And we met, he had brought by some food, and we just talked and things like that. And he just got kind of like gained my trust. I could tell, you know, who he was. And we still in each other's corner to this day. He texts me. We text all the time. I mean, I just called him yesterday after getting off the plane and things like that. And it was just fortunate that I met him, things like that. But it's been dark times though, you know. You know, lights cut off in the apartments, you know, everybody trying to put their money together. Sometimes guys leave you, you know, things like that. And like, you know, guys on the lease and, you know, getting evicted, you know, or you're sleeping in abandoned apartments, you know. Like, I done slept in an abandoned apartment before, like, where it's just the lights is on stay on for a certain amount of days and the water staying on. You got to figure out your next move. I just seen guys sleeping in cars. I mean, you know, it's just tough. You know, it's tough out there. You just got to know what comes with it, though, and keep fighting through it, you know. So he was fortunate, though, to set me up with a couple of jobs and things like that to where, like, part-time where I can do this. I mean, I was working in warehouses, furniture, you know, like the Bob's Furniture Warehouse. I was working in there, you know, stacking up aisles, loading trucks, things like that. I'm talking like 4 in the morning. Just
on top of school, on top of football.
On top of all that, just trying to get some money, things like that. And, you know, it just helped, like I said, it was just most of the stuff helped mold me and shape me into who the man I am today. It also helped me showed me how much I really love. Like, the whole journey showed me I love football since I was young. I knew this is what I wanted to do. I mean, I love basketball more than my family would tell you, which I did at a point in time. But they knew I loved sports. Like, I gravitated towards sports, and sports is what I want to do. Growing up, like basketball or football, I was gonna try to be
anything,
one,
something,
in one. So I mean, like it just showed me how much, like you know, you gotta go work a 9-to-5 job, and it just showed you like still, like even with the abandon or you coming home to no food or nothing like that, it just shows you like how much more like why you love what you do. Like why I love to go to practice and it's my safe haven. I get to have fun, even though I might not want to go to work at 4 in the morning or whatever it is, or even though I might not want to go back to that apartment. I'm just enjoying football, my safe haven, when I go to practice and things like that. So it was awesome. It was awesome. It was tough, but it was awesome.
It's incredible. We're talking to running back Rachaad White. And for you now to be here, what do you think are your biggest strengths on and off the field, especially after we hear that story, what you bring to this team based on your past, your story, and then your skill set on the field? When we are years from now talking about why Rachaad White made it, what do you think it's going to be because of?
Just because of my character. Just because who I am as a man, and that's what I really like about the stars that's in the locker room. And I tell everybody about them. You know, my family, a lot of people, friends. How Mike? Man, how's Chris? How's Tom? You know, and how's Lenny? Or how's they ask me about a lot of guys. How Devin White? How Levante? You know, all the stars on the team right now. Vita. I'm like, man, they all so down to earth. They got great character. They very humble. They very very selflessness. They don't even like realize that they might, they don't even realize, like, to you that's what they is, but to them they like, I'm just another regular person. And that's how I pride myself. Years on down the line, Rachaad White, whatever, however my social status, my name, how big my name might be, but I'm just a regular person. I'm just human like everybody else.
And how about a couple of the other running backs in your room? What do they bring to the table? Gio Bernard, Keyshawn Vaughn. What has it been like to play alongside those guys as well?
It's been great competition, and also as well as Gio, great leadership. I was blessed and fortunate to move up, obviously, to RB2, and Gio and just been leading me ever since. And then Sneak, Keyshawn Vaughn, he just been competing, doing who he is, staying the same person, things like that. So that's what they bring, a lot of leadership and just great personality.
And Todd McNair, as your running back coach, what do you like about him and the ways that you guys have already started building a relationship and what he might be able to do for you in your career?
What I like about him is just little details and communication. He always communicating, and he always stay harping on like the little details and how little details become big details and big things. The littlest thing might become a big thing though, even though it seems like it's the littlest thing. So that's why I've been very blessed and fortunate to have so far early in my career. Him just been up, just having me on track, having me mindset, mentality, just making sure I know everything that I need to know, just things like that. So just teaching me the game.
How about in your room? Are there any rookie duties that are required of you?
No.
Wow,
my best's actually cool. I think we went out to eat. I think it was like Tennessee. We went to like a steak place, and they had paid and things like that. Like Lenny and Gio had split the bill. So no, it was pretty cool. They don't ask me to do nothing. Everybody be doing everything.
Yeah, you're looking at all the other rookies like, man, my guys are cool.
Yeah, I'm just looking like, yeah. I mean, but for me though, like regardless, that's why I tell people all the time, and people don't believe me, but this is who I am. So like a lot of like people be like, yeah, you gonna make, like I be having to get up off the table when I'm trying to get taped in the morning for practice because some vets come, like Will and Pat, Connor and things like that. But that's just what they do. But I always tell like Dutchie and Bobby and Sammy and them that when my time come, like, and I'm a vet or whatever, I'm still not gonna make the rookie get up off the table just because that's who I am. Like, I mean, and it's not like discrediting them who they are, but they probably had different vets or whatever that like, nah, these rookies gotta pay their dues. But regardless, if I had to, I'm not gonna make the rookies when it's my turn come in have to oh, let's go out to eat. You pay for this, or just run up the tab on them, like, just because that's just not who I am, you know.
That's pretty cool. And how about Byron Leftwich as your offensive coordinator? For one, to have a guy that played in the league fairly recently and played quarterback and therefore understands the quarterback running back dynamics, the running back offensive line dynamics. What have you seen about how he sees the game, the way that he can set up the offense to put guys like you in a position to succeed?
I think Coach Byron is amazing, and not just because I'm playing with him, just because when I was going through the pre-draft process, all that and everything, I just like how he was always true to himself. He was always himself. He'll always be himself. His confidence, you could just tell how he walk, how he whistle around here, just how he go outside and he run around and walk around the field and things like that, and just how he carry himself. You could just tell what kind of guy he is. And on the field as a coach, yeah, he's amazing. You know, he just seen it all. He done been here, you know, and he's a quarterback. And most of the time, I mean, you see how, like, Tom and Lenny are. I mean, I got quarterbacks that I play with in my life are my closest friends still, are my best friends still. One of them came to the New Orleans game because he played quarterback for LSU right now. But, like, that's just how it be. Like, you running backs and quarterbacks are always really like this. So it's just amazing to be able to go to him, talk to him about anything, and just like you said, how he put guys in position. I was going to put you in position to succeed, to win. And one thing I like about him as well is he going to take credit, though, when he don't feel like he put you in position to succeed and things like that, which is really great to see.
What do you remember about the pre-draft process and when you realized the Bucs were showing interest in you, or what all of that was like, and then learning this is where you would come?
For me, I just never, I just went through it. Like I said, I'm the type of guy, I enjoy the moment, so I only knew I'd get one combine, knew I'd get like one formal and informal meetings. So, you know, I knew first, you know, my mom always taught me so young, you know, first impression is, you know, huge. So I just knew, though, at the end of the day, to be myself, be relaxed, be comfortable, things like that. And as well as I just knew the Bucs, like I had like I believe it was like a formal where we was in a suite and things like that. And I was talking to Coach Byron was in there and guys like that. And Coach T-Mac, since I was coming up to the door, he was like cracking jokes, but I didn't realize he was the running back coach until the time. But it was just like great. And they showed interest then and let me know, all honesty, answered my questions that I had in there. I answered their questions that they had in there, went over some things about ball. And then I was blessed to be on the top 30 visit here. But, you know, a lot of people like, you know, don't even worry about your top 30 visits because it's rare where you go to a team on where you take a top 30 visit to. But I didn't know where I would end up. I was always just hoping that I end up, me and my agent talk about it, in a great situation, a great spot. Guys like this in the locker room you can learn from. You can pick their brain. You just know how it is. So when your time comes, you know, it's not like, wow, you know, like I'm just now seeing this, you know. So, and I was end up fortunate to take this, get drafted here.
It's incredible. We have one more segment coming up here with running back Rachaad White on Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest, brought to you by Frontier and Hooters. This is Buccaneers Radio. It's time for our final segment here on Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest. Casey Phillips joined by rookie running back Rachaad White. And you got your first official home game coming up. I know preseason happens, but I'm sure that feels very different. What are the things that you are most excited about to finally step out there at Raymond James Stadium and know this one counts for something on the record books?
Really, I'm just looking excited to get back out there and playing with the guys, playing with my teammates, to be honest, and just enjoying the moment, seeing the atmosphere. Like, for the first time, I mean, the atmosphere was great against Miami, but I'm pretty sure it'll be, like you said, it's a regular season game, playing the Packers, so it'll be a much probably intense, huge atmosphere. So waiting to see that and just waiting, you know, opportunity to come, just make sure I make everything of it, make the most of it, and just give my team my all in special teams and things like that, and my job that they do want me to do. And
now knowing the week after that is against the Chiefs. You grew up in Kansas City. Were you a Chiefs fan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is that like now to know you're going against the team that you grew up watching?
It just make you want to go against them. I mean, obviously even harder. You got a chip on your shoulder, like, you know. you know, they didn't draft you, things like that. They had a chance. So, obviously, it's just going to be fun, though. Just be fun, enjoy the moment. Really things like that. I know a couple guys on the team and things like that. So, just would be fun, just going at it, getting after it with them.
And whenever you talk about the atmosphere at the stadium, we're talking to running back Rachaad White. I always love asking anyone that's new to the team, what were your thoughts the first time you heard the cannons fire, and did they startle you?
No. Sometimes, though, it's like you don't really kind of like, for me, I don't really even like hear, or sometimes I be so much in the zone, I kind of like even pay that no attention, if you get what I'm saying. So, like, it's like you hear, but you don't, like, really realize it at the time, you know,
That's
things
impressive.
like that. So, it's like, I was like, I hear it, but it's like something else must have been going on to where it's like, oh, I'm on to the next thing, you know, and not even doing that. But, I mean, I like the sound of it and things like that. I mean, that's even with away games for me. Like, you don't hear the crowd. Like, I don't hear the crowd, like, for a minute until it's, like, something that's causing me to hear it, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't hear the Saints crowd. For me, like, it's like they was loud, but I don't really hear it until, like, TB is trying to tell me to play. Then it's like, hold on, if I can't hear them, I'm like, oh, yeah, they loud, you know? Or if, like, he got to say HUD on the snap count, things like that, and I don't really hear it, but, like, I'm fortunate to play running back. You just wait till the ball snap. Yeah, you know, you in the backfield with him. So stuff like that, you just kind of zone. Like, you be in so much of the zone, you don't even hear stuff like or pay attention.
That's interesting. And now looking forward to this Packers game. I know it's Monday, so you haven't really started the preparation yet, but what do you maybe already know a little bit about their defense, or what are the things you're going to do this week to prepare for them the way you've started learning how to prepare for an NFL defense?
I just know they got the same thing. They got a strong front, you know, and we just blessed and fortunate to play another one. Play one this last game, and, you know, you just kind of know what comes with it. So I'm just looking forward to playing against a strong front. We know that they want to get home with their front four, so they don't blitz a whole lot as well as the Saints didn't blitz a whole lot. They just, you know, very rely on their front, and, you know, we want to protect their TB, and we want to, you know, obviously run the ball and have a strong suit on that, and as well as making sure we just make the plays that comes with it. I just know we're going to be aggressive. That's all I know.
I like the sound of that. I'm sure Bucs fans do too. And I know that the pass protection part for rookie running backs can sometimes be the hardest part of the adjustment. How comfortable do you feel at this point in that part of your game?
I feel very comfortable. It's all about communication, and the line is very good at communicating as well as TB is of who's such and such. So after that, you just know that you got one guy that you got the guy that the line don't got. And or you got the rest of the guys. So the line got, you know, they got a 4 down, they got the 4 linemen, it's 5 linemen. So they're going to have one other guy outside of that, and you got the rest. So, I mean, it's pretty simple once you break it down to it. You just got to know who the line got, and then you go from there.
All right. Well, we are so excited to have had you on the show, and so excited to have you as a member of the Bucs organization. You got such an amazing attitude coming in here, and I know that we're just all wishing you nothing but the best, and can't wait to see what this career brings for you.
Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate that.
All right. Thanks to all of you guys for being with us here and listening to Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest. This has been with rookie running back Rachaad White, brought to you by Frontier and Hooters. This is the Buccaneers Radio.